So the definition of a sport is any physical exertion that an individual or a group of people, so a team, have to compete against one another just for entertainment. That will bring me into my topic, is marching band a sport? A lot of controversy over this from marching band members, from administrators, like faculty and principals of schools, and just normal everyday people. A lot of people have different opinions about this, so this is going to bring me into my three topics. I will talk about the history and background of bands in America, the pros and advantages of considering marching band a sport, and the cons and disadvantages of why it shouldn't be a sport. So the history of it: Europeans first had bands. They had bands for their military. They brought them over from Europe to the New World. Military personnel would use them for playing for their units, or to play in parades and festivals and anything in that nature. But that is how we became to have a marching band we have today. So the first marching band halftime show, this is very interesting, was back in 1907 with the University of Illinois. They had the first marching band show. Their group had, according to Music Marching Bands for Peace, which is the first website I used, they started from a block to a V formation, which that was the first halftime show. It just had some movement. Just had movement to different shapes, but it was very interesting. And some changes from marching band back then to marching band we have today. They added marching bands into secondary schools, like high schools. Instead of just colleges, it would be high schools, middle schools, junior high schools, anywhere in between. They had dance team, majorettes, the baton twirlers, and color guard, the girls who had the flags, added to the bands. And then they just added variations of shows and variations of competitions and anything like that. So that brings me to the pros of marching band. Pros of considering marching band a sport. Bands do intense organized shows. You have to keep up with the tempo of whatever song you're playing. You have to keep up with the music. You gotta make sure you play the notes correctly. For drums, you gotta make sure you do your rhythms correctly. Color guard, make sure you're twirling your flags in time. And it gets really, really intense. If the faster it goes, the harder it'll be for everything to be precise. So a lot of things are actually taught in marching band, such as being able to stay hydrated and hopefully not pass out or experience fatigue or nausea, which that has happened to a lot of people in bands, especially when it gets really hot outside and you forget to hydrate, so you end up getting dehydrated and you pretty much pass out. I have seen people pass out. And then you have to build a bunch of teamwork. This is not just a one-person thing. You have to have teamwork. You have to be able to work together to get the show correctly, to be able to go out there, do your best. And then for bands such as DCI, high school bands, DCI stands for Drum Corps International. They're the top, the best of the best marching band members go to these groups. They compete in competitions. They do finals. They have a final competition, and then they have to go do their award ceremony, which kind of says who's the best of the best. Some of these sources that I did use: True Fitness, that is a great website. it helped me look at all the pros of why marching band is a sport. And then also Music and Magic was another website. That was basically for like band directors, and like marching band students would go in there and post what they know, why they want marching band to be considered a sport, which is awesome, and I did enjoy reading that. Anyway, now the terrible thing, cons. Why should it not be a sport? A lot of people say marching band is a performing art. Yes, it is. They think it's like a performing art, like show choir, dance, theater, anything in that category. Which, to me, yes, it is considered a performing art because you play an instrument. This brings me to my another point. You just play an instrument, you make sure everything's right. But a lot of people don't understand what really goes into band. Like how much time and effort and the whole saying blood, sweat, and tears you put into making a show, making music. It gets intense and it's crazy. Energy between bands was always very friendly. We always liked each other. Like at my high school, we were best friends with a bunch of other high school bands. Now, for MTSU, we don't ever get to see any other bands. Except for last year we saw Tennessee State and Western Kentucky, but we were very, very nice to them. They were nice to us. It was great. It was awesome. And I know a lot of football teams and other sports teams are mean to other teams. That's just not how marching band is. So these were from a website, The General Idea. It helped me get a lot of cons of why marching band is not a sport. Read through, it was very interesting. And then another one was Bandhead, which helped me pretty much through all of these topics, all of these categories. So, but for me, I do think marching band is a sport. It's exhausting. Like today, I just got out of practice a couple hours ago, and I am still sweating a lot. Like I completely changed clothes. It is very hot outside. We were outside for a number of hours every other day, and then Saturdays we practice for the football games that afternoon. It's a lot of fun though. I do enjoy it. But anyway, this is my speech on why marching band should be considered a sport. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys around.